Well, we're here and it's eclipse time. It's 3:20, so we have about 6 minutes left before we get totality here where I am in Queensbury, New York. And I'm interested to see what my chickens are going to do, to be quite honest. But I'm over at my fence line and the sun is behind me. Where is it? It's over here. I can't do the camera good like this, but oh, wrong way. Anyway, I'm gonna watch it and see what the chickens do. And a hot air balloon just went up right across the street from my house. That would be really cool to see the eclipse up in a hot air balloon. You can't really see it on camera, but it almost just looks like I have sunglasses on. But the chickens don't seem to really mind it too much. It's not really super dark, but it's dark enough. Again, you can't get the full experience on camera. It's so weird. We are going to put the hatching eggs in to our incubator. This is a Nurture Right 360 incubator. I used it last year when I hatched out my eggs, and so we're going to give it a run this year since we have a rooster, and so we should have some fertilized eggs. So I did take this out last night and give it a run through and just let it run for a couple of hours, just because it's been sitting in my basement for a year and it seemed to work pretty good. But as soon as you plug in the incubator, it defaults back to the factory settings, so it will start right away at your 21 days in the preset of 99.5 degrees. So everything is working well. I did turn it on a couple hours ago just to kind of get it warmed up. We're at 99.5 degrees and it's at 50% humidity. So you want to be between like 48 and 55% humidity, and everything seems to be working well. I will just check real quick, which I did last night, but I'll show you. I want to make sure my egg turner works, and the egg turner will spin once an hour. It's actually like 59 minutes, but that's okay. I always just double check and make sure it's working. So if you press and hold the plus and minus at the same time, it will force it to turn, and it turns just fine. So I think everything is set up correctly. Everything's good to go. So I'm gonna put my eggs in. I'm so excited. Let's see. Now, hopefully I have a good setup that I never want to keep the top off for very long. So a few of my eggs I labeled because I specifically saw I'm stalking my chickens because I want specific eggs from specific girls. And you do not wash these. If you're taking these from your own flock, do not wash them. So I'm going to fill this incubator all the way up. It holds 22 eggs. I'm going to gently make sure everything is correct here. And once I get them in and get the top on, I will just give it a forced turn and make sure everything turns correctly. Try to pick your cleanest eggs, because at 99.5 degrees and 50% humidity, it can definitely get a little dirty and breed bacteria. So put these puppies in. Trying not to drop anything. There. So we have 22 eggs in here. I'm going to put the top on. I'm going to force it to spin just to make sure everything is correct. There's little notches on the front and the back, so you make sure that the plastic sits in there. And I usually just give it a feel and make sure it's closed properly. Now there's a side port here that says A and B. You're going to use distilled water, and I've already filled port A about 2/3 of the way up, which I've already done that. So this is going to get back up to temperature because I took the top off. I'm going to force it to turn, and I'm going to watch and make sure that all the eggs turn okay. And they turn just fine. So everything is set. It's already preset to 21 days. And yay, I can't wait to see this. So it's preset to 21 days. So at day 19 is when you would put them in lockdown. That's the last 3 days of the incubation cycle. So at that point, which I'll show you in later videos once we get closer, I'll take the egg turner out, because at that point you don't want them to be rotating. And then I will bump the humidity up and then not open this at all until we have babies. So stay tuned, and we will see our whole hatching cycle for the 21 to 22 days. So I did find out last year that putting these eggs in this incubator, this 24-hour period is actually day 0. I did. This will be day 0. So then tomorrow starts day 1. So keep that in mind. So adding day 0 to it, you tend to be 22 to 23 days. That's technically what I hatched out last year. One other thing I will talk about quick too is this little vent opening here. It has a little slide on it. The instructions say to start halfway, but that will determine your humidity levels. So if you close it a little more, your humidity will go up. If you open it a little more, your humidity will go down. So today I'm just going to keep an eye and find that sweet spot that's going to keep the humidity between 48 and 55%, which right now it's at 55%. I'm assuming because I actually put something in it, so it has less space to humidify. So I will just keep an eye on it. It's just about right in the middle right now. So it's getting back up to temperature, and we will see. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to candle them. Whee! So this is the area that I'm going to take up the compost from. It has rained non-stop for days, and I finally got to leave work early and get some of this compost up. So I'm going to dig down just an inch or so, because on the top of here it's a little more hot. But underneath there's probably a good 6 inches of good compost that I'm going to take out from here and top dress the garden. Got some chicken compost, and here is my leaf compost pile. So I know this looks like a bad mess, because it is, but I'm going to dig down to the bottom of these piles. I don't get out here much to be able to turn them, like you should turn them. But I'm going to dig down and get some leaf compost out of the bottom, which I usually do every year. Okay, so I got underneath the leaves from last year, and look at this is all leaf mulch. This is what your leaves will break down to if you give them time and the right environment. Granted, I don't police this, I don't water this, I don't turn this like I should, but this is what will happen. You have this amazing, smells so good, this amazing compost. So I'm going to dig multiple wheelbarrows full now that I've got down to this. This is all underneath this shovel. It's all just beautiful, beautiful compost. And this is what's going to feed my plants. Now that I have all the leaf compost, I'm going to mix the chicken compost in with the leaf compost. So the bed is filled, and now I'm going to plant potatoes here. These are the potatoes from last year that once they started sprouting, I just put them in my basement, and these are the ones I'm going to plant. So I dug trenches about 6 inches deep. I'm just going to put the potatoes in and cover them up. I do have some fertilizer because potatoes are very heavy feeders. I use blood meal, bone meal, azomite, worm castings, potash. Kind of just mixed everything together. I'll sprinkle it in and then plant away. There we go. I sprinkled everything in. There we go. I just dropped the potatoes in. And I'm just going to cover them up, and that's that. Everything's covered up. I'm going to let Mother Nature do the rest. Since it's definitely going to rain at the end of the week, I don't need to water this. But once the plants start coming up, I will use a leaf mulch, which is just leaves from last year. I might take them from there. I might take them from the pile that I need to clean up here and just cover them. That will help insulate them, retain moisture, and help them protect them against the sun. I did plant my cucumbers, so they've started, and I also threw in some lettuce seeds, different kinds of romaine lettuce, and some spinach, and we're just gonna rock and roll here. We're just about a month out, and I finally have to finish this video. It's been a couple weeks, and I'm a little behind the times, so sorry for that, but I'll put this together and put it out for you. And stay tuned because I've been working hard in the garden to get everything cleaned up, and as always, from my coop to yours, thank you for growing with me so I can grow with you.